Father, I just wanted to tell you, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. Father, I just don't feel like doing anything at all. And whatever I try to do requires so much of effort. I really don't know what to do, and my condition is like deteriorating each day. And the people around are so worried about me.
So yesterday you said that I surrender my power of belief to you.
Yes, Father.
Or did you take it back or what happened? Okay, let me speak about this for a bit. Because it can seem like for a while, as we are surrendering our belief in the mind, they can seem like, for most of us actually, it happened here also, that the interest in worldly activities, worldly socialization, worldly work seems to reduce. Even here for many months, there was no sense of wanting to work, wanting to do something social. And actually, there was very little concern about it also. There was very little concern about it also. But when I saw the family, my wife, my parents, they would come and say, "So, what's happening now? What's happening about your work? What happened to you? You had so much fire for work. You did such a big conference before you went to Thiru. Now, something happening? Are you sending emails all day, or what are you doing on the computer?" These kind of questions were coming, and that was being registered. So one day, actually, I wrote a mail to Guruji and said, "Thank you so much. Everything seems so clear, but there's no interest in any sort of work. The only, and jokingly, I was half jokingly actually, I also said, the only interest that seems to remain at that time, it's funny now that I look at it, the only interest that seems to remain is in watching cricket." Now, actually, even that is not so much. Very little of that is also. But that time I wrote to him that, the only, I don't feel like working and what's happening, and the family is very concerned. But I am very happy right now. So he said that, tell Garima to trust that what is happening with you cannot be bad for anyone around you. It is only going to bring grace and auspiciousness in everyone's life. And he said that this is a very natural way in which this happens. This seeming lack of interest in phenomenal activities. Then after a few weeks, after this email interaction, I noticed that just there was more life energy, life force that came for work. But it did not seem like my work. It did not seem like I have to do this. It just became a flow. That things were flowing. Just like this. They were just flowing. Just like we share satsang, we put on the computer, join the hangout, log on to YouTube, read the chat messages, we hear what the others are saying. So to the mind, even this can seem like a lot of work, but it is known that it is just happening here. To give responses to the mind can seem like work, or you're working for 3 hours every day, you're sharing satsang. No, just like the questions are heard, the answers are also heard. So this sense of me doing something, that is gone. And I can tell you that even the byproducts of this, letting go of the mind, It's very beautiful because the number of arguments in my marriage have reduced to very, very almost non-existent. Which I thought would be mythical to have a marriage and not argue. Now I see it is happening. There's so much more acceptance, so much more peace. Of course, momentarily something can come. The, the relationships with my children, family, everything seems to be quite peaceful, quite going on its own very beautifully. Even with work, nothing seems to phase me. Got one project, lost one project, did something well, didn't do something well. All of this does not seem to really matter so much. Same for my investing. Some stocks do well, some don't do well, ups and downs. It's all okay. So it is not that all the activities have stopped, but the fear, the greed about it, the doership about it, the wanting a particular outcome, the wanting to be right, the guilt, the regret, remorse, pride, all of this has fallen off. So sometimes some of you might have this impression that we're really hardcore or something. We just want you to suffer and let go of the mind, and then your life will be terrible, but you don't care. We don't care about it. It's not like that. Nobody wants their children to suffer in any, even the phenomenal way. You see? Would I want you to have terrible relationships? Would I want your children to suffer? No. Why would I? You see? But I know that the root of this is just this belief in our mind. You see? So as we let go of our belief in our thoughts, in all these byproducts, which I don't talk about so often because it becomes an expectation, but it is inevitable that you will be surrounded by the presence of love, peace, and joy without any concern about their coming and going. It is not possible for those who have given up on their identity, on their mind. It is not possible, at least it is unheard of, for that appearance to be not surrounded by the appearance of peace, love, bliss, joy. And they are allowed to move about in their own beautiful way. So nobody can say, I'm constantly feeling this love, constantly. If you're constantly feeling it, then you'll stop recognizing it. Just like the taste in our mouths. You don't recognize what it is. It seems like it's neutral till we eat some sugar or some salt or some spice. But I'm sure in the sensors, if there was some taste sensor equipment, then what is there in the mouth naturally will have some taste. So that which is constantly present, then we feel that that has no value. So therefore the phenomenal play of love, peace and joy can continue. The mind says, but this should become a constant. Getting a taste of it now, this should stay and then I will give myself the freedom certificate. It's not that. It's only about the right now. Only about the right now. There is only this now. So like you said yesterday, I surrender my power of belief to you. Now don't take it back. You see? Because when you surrender the power of belief in the mind, then your intuition, the Sadguru, comes and takes your hand. So if you want to make a journey out of it, then give one hand to the mind and one hand to the Guru. Then you'll go wobbling like this. Sometimes attracted to the mind, sometimes attracted to the Guru. This like this, you'll be wobbling on this journey. But if you don't want journey, you've had enough of all of this. Then don't take back the power of your belief. Because belief is given only to the false. The truth does not need belief. That which is does not need to be believed to come into existence. That which is does not need the power of belief to come into existence. It is prior to belief. That which never is, that which never is, needs the power of belief to pretend to exist. So that Prachi which never is relies only on the concepts you have about yourself. But that God which you are is not reliant on any belief. It just is. I am. It does not need to be believed I am. It needs to be believed I am something. I am is prior to belief. Can you say I am something without believing?
No.
Something like this. So just I am. You cannot even say I am not without a belief. Because your natural state is I am. So stay like this. Give it some time. And you'll find that all the byproducts of this freedom also will start showing up. But have no rush about that. Have no expectation about that. And you'll find joy in the strangest of places now. In the seeming mundane to the mind, you will find the greatest joy. Because the mind has the habit of making everything mundane. You can be flying in an airline so many feet above the ground, the clouds are under you. But for the frequent flyers, that has become so mundane. We can be in a hangout like this, which was not possible 10 years ago, with apparent beings from all over the world, all continents, all countries, sharing together like this one satsang. But the mind will make this also mundane. So don't give it to the mind because, as my master says, it will put mud into everything. But you will find joy as you let go of this mind. You will find joy in everything. So don't make it a short term surrender. You surrendered your belief yesterday, you keep it surrendered for some time at least. Then you come after a few weeks and say, no, it doesn't work. Then I'm happy to have that conversation with you. If you then come to me and say, no, it doesn't work, I didn't pick up a thought for a few weeks and see there is no peace, I'm more confused. If you then come and say, then we can, then I'm very happy to look because you have come to this auspicious point where you said that I surrender my power of belief itself to you. Not even surrendering the next thought, the power of belief itself. Then you cannot truly speak to me about any trouble.